Malcolm was near Aunt Cath's age. I always saw him as one of her friends, not mine. He was a regular visitor, popping round most evenings just as I dished up the meal.
Malcolm, just finished work?
Yes, you know how it is. Busy, busy. Just thought I'd pop in to see how you both are.
I'm just dishing up our dinner. Would you like some?
That'd be nice. Save me cooking when I get home.
He was pleasant enough, but he sometimes took things for granted. But even so, he'd insist that I had one night a week off duty, as he put it. It was nice to have a quiet drink after work before returning to Aunt Cath's old house. I'd given up my old flat when she needed me, but now Aunt Cath's gone, I have to look for another place.
Hello, Malcolm. Just finished
Yes,
work?
busy, busy. You know how it is. Just thought I'd pop in and show you these brochures I picked up. And I thought we could spend the evening just having a look through them.
Malcolm still came round every evening. He wanted to help me plan my future, he said. When my car failed its MOT, he brought some brochures round.
As you're in the market, so to speak, I thought perhaps we...
I fell in love with a lovely white sporty model. The salesman was charming, explaining things about the car that I couldn't hope to understand. But what the heck? We all have castles in the sky, and I was persuaded to take a test drive the next day. I felt the need for some excitement. The years spent looking after Aunt Cath had restricted my social life, and I was on a high as I walked home in the spring sunshine. Until...
What do you think of this little beauty? It was a snip. And it's a lady's car, really. And the new one would lose its value in no time.
I suppose he was right. It would be economical and cheap to insure. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello. Just thought I'd pop in. Guess what I've got from the travel agents?
The next batch of brochures were for holiday resorts. I'd missed my last holiday because of Aunt Cath's illness. What I had in mind was Greece or Italy. What I found out later that evening was that Malcolm had already booked Cromer on the Norfolk coast.
We don't want to waste your money, do we, sweetheart? Anyway, I believe it's the groom's prerogative to choose where the honeymoon takes place.
I didn't realise that he felt that way, but my life's ticking away. Not that I want children, but everybody needs to have somebody, I suppose. When Malcolm told me that I could do with shedding a few pounds, I started going for brisk walks. Well, not always brisk. Sometimes I dawdle looking in the shop windows. I was supposed to be looking for something to wear at our wedding.
Something simple.
He had warned.
No frills at your age. Mutton dressed up as lamb, remember.
But all the simple ones he liked made me look rather plain. Malcolm thought it might be best to settle for a suit.
Save the lace for the pretty girls.
Was his advice.
After all, it'll be a registry office ceremony. Cheaper too.
Ever since I was a child, I dreamed of having a church wedding. But maybe at my age it was time to let the dream go. One lunchtime I walked a bit further, to one of the posher parts of town. Now, I don't profess to know anything about pictures, except that I'm not too keen on the Flying Scotsman that Malcolm's already hung in the hall. But there was this beautiful picture all by itself. It positively glowed. I returned the next day to look at it again. In fact, I went back every day for a week. I really fell in love with that picture. I knew that I could just afford it, thanks to Aunt Cath's will. But what would Malcolm say? But then again, should I worry about what he says? I felt I just had to have that picture, whatever the consequences. That picture you've got in the front of the window, I'd like to buy it, please.
I'm terribly sorry, madam. I've just sold it.
Just sold it? You can't have just sold it. It's still in the window. You can't have just sold it.
If only you'd come in earlier, madam. I'm so sorry.
I'd just saved some money, Malcolm, so I'll cheer myself up with a cup of coffee.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. That was very clumsy of me. Can I get you another one?
No, it's okay, just a little spilled. I just had to smile. It was clearly one of those days. We started to talk. I had to tell him about my picture and that someone else had bought it. I really ought to be grateful that it's gone. Malcolm wouldn't have liked it. Not Malcolm who bought me an old car and has taken me to Cromer for my honeymoon.
Oh dear, if you ask me, on no account should anyone honeymoon in Cromer.
I saw him there the following day and the next, for almost a week. But then no more. I didn't see him anymore. There was no point in mentioning it to Malcolm. What would he say? But now I'll have to. You see, I had this phone call. I must have mentioned my number.
I want to confess. You see, I was the one who bought the picture. And I have just hung it up. It is beautiful, and I want you to come and see it. Will you come, please? Come and see the picture, and we can have dinner afterwards. Please say you'll come.
I remembered his blue eyes and the way they lit up when he smiled. But I don't even know your name.
It's Joe, short for Giovanni. Please say you'll come. Please.
So I'll have to tell Malcolm about meeting Joe and going to look at the picture. He won't be very pleased. It's hanging on Joe's wall, for one thing. A wall in Joe's villa in Italy!